on to the Learning Tube. So we're going to be looking today on Google Chrome features that you need to know. Now, how many of you are Google Chrome users? Give me a 1 in the chat. Let me know the Google Chrome users. Now, Google Chrome is a web browser that allows you to view web pages. Now, most persons tend to use Microsoft Edge because by default, Microsoft Edge is what your computer comes with. But if you want more functionality, ease of use, different features, you can actually change the web browser that you use. So let me see which ones are Google Chrome users. All right, we have quite a number of Google Chrome users here. So you're my people. So we're trying to convert anyone else who does not use Google Chrome. All right, so let me just show you how you get it, because Google Chrome, you actually have to download it to your computer. It doesn't come with your computer. So I'll open a new tab and I will just simply search whatever browser you have. Search for Google Chrome web browser. Search for that. And then here you'll see where you can download it. So here it says Google Chrome, download the fast, secure browser. So when you click on it, you're taken to a page that simply has download Chrome. There's no place like Chrome. So my regular Chrome users know that there's no place like Chrome. All right. So let us look and see how we download it. So when you click on the button, it's going to just basically walk through the steps and it downloads an exe file, and then you go through the regular download and installation steps. All right. That's what you're going to do with that. Okay, so after that now, then you're ready now to use the features that I'm going to show you, because I'm an avid Google Chrome browser user. In fact, I think the last time I used Microsoft Edge was when it was called Internet Explorer. Who remembers when Microsoft Edge was called Internet Explorer? Give me a 2 in the chat. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Who remembers Internet Explorer? You're going to show your age if you remember. But yeah, for those who did not know, Microsoft Edge was formerly Internet Explorer. So they just, revamped it and called it something else. So now it's like maybe what do you call it there? They're trying to make it sound hip, not sure, but yes, it was formerly called Internet Explorer. But Edge does have its issues. It's not the most secure browser. I'm not here to bash any other browser, but I am here to introduce you to Google Chrome browser. If you do not use it, you need to start using it soon, because it is like, oh my gosh, so wonderful. Now, for those who are Mac users tend to use the Safari browser. So that browser is an option as well. I'm not familiar with using it, so I'm not going to say that Chrome is better than it, but I know that Chrome is like the best at a lot of things, and a lot of people do try to build their websites and apps and such to better be used with Google Chrome browser for a reason. So definitely start using it if you have not. So after that, now, what are some of the features? Now, for those who are Google Chrome browser users, let me know in the chat, what have you used Google Chrome browser to do? What have you used it for? What have you used it for? Like some of the special features you have encountered in it. All right. So one feature that I definitely love to Google, one feature I definitely love is that it allows you to have shortcuts to websites. Now you saw me open a new tab, and here I am on what my new tab page looks like. So these are shortcuts that I have to websites that I myself have created. Now I could either create the shortcuts myself, or I could tell Google Chrome, any website you see me use often, please create a shortcut for it. So this is how we do both options. So here, down the bottom when you see it says Customize Chrome, you will notice the lovely purple color of my Google Chrome browser, because purple is my favorite color. And you can actually change the color of your browser. So if you wanted it to be red, well, that's kind of like bright. This is like a fuchsia or something. I don't know. That's bright. Or this blue, that's not too bad. You have this, I don't even know what color that is. You see the different colors that you could change it to if you chose to. So you can customize it that way if you just want to stand out. I love this particular color, so I have mine on that. So you can actually change the theme and all sort of stuff with your browser. You can have an uploaded image. All of that is with your new tab that you open. So that's just for aesthetics, how it looks and such. Now, where the shortcuts are concerned, if this button is turned on, it will show shortcuts. So if it's off, as I have toggled it off here, you're not going to see any shortcuts. It's just going to be plain. Now, you know what I'm going to ask you. Why would you want to have shortcuts on your new tab? Why would you want shortcuts? How does it benefit you to have shortcuts? We all know. We all know why. It allows us to be able to access websites faster. Doing things faster does what? When you're allowed to do something faster, you will always save time. And time is what we always want to save. And it allows us to be more efficient. We're not spending time doing things that we don't need to be doing. So instead of going and having to type in the web address and all of that, you just have the shortcut. So if I leave this particular button on, it will show my shortcuts. Increases motivation. Yes, because they're doing stuff faster. Now here I have my shortcuts. So these are shortcuts that are created for me, by me. So I am the one who has created these shortcuts based on websites I know I frequently use. Now I could also allow Google Chrome, based on my frequency of using certain websites, choose the shortcuts that I'm using. Myra, you're using the chat. All right, so if I click this option, notice that it changes a bit. So we see some of these are some websites that I use frequently and so on. But I like to create certain ones that I use. So I leave it on me creating the shortcuts. All right. So by default, it gives you 10. There are ways that you can get around doing that. But the easiest thing that you can do, sometimes you may have a website that you haven't used as often. So if you want to actually get another shortcut in, you can just hover over the shortcut itself, then these three dots right here, click it, and then you can remove it. And of course, you can also edit your shortcuts. I'm going to remove it and show you how we add. So now that I've taken off the extra one, it actually gives me the add shortcut button. So you simply click on the button, and then you're asked for the name of the shortcut and the URL. So you saw that I had Zoom a while ago. So I can type in the name and call it Zoom. Then I can open a new tab and I would type in Zoom's URL. All right. So now I want to copy Zoom's URL. Always copy the URL with the HTTP on it to make sure it works properly. What I do a copy and then I just do a paste in the same area so that the HTTP part comes up. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's how I found to make it come up easily. Then I will copy it and then go back to where I was in this other tab and paste it. All you do is just tell it done. You see it fits it in and it has the icon and everything. So if I just open a new tab as you saw me do and I want to go on Zoom, I can quickly go on Zoom. If I quickly want to go into Canva, I quickly go into Canva. I don't have to type in canva.com. If I want to go into YouTube, you get the drift. So it really saves a lot of time for you to customize your setup, your shortcuts as you need it. So Google Chrome browser users, have you been using that feature? I'm sure some of you may have even seen the shortcuts and say, oh, how did that get there? Or how does Google Chrome choose what to put a shortcut for? Let me know in the chat. Have you actually set up your own shortcuts? If you haven't, now I'm sure you're going to say, which website do I use often? So for those who are in the AI Experts Club, I'm sure some of those AI tools you'll be adding to your shortcuts because you're using them often and so on. So I'm sure you're going to be using those, all right? So that is one feature that definitely saves me a lot of time. I don't have to waste time typing anything in the web address. I just go to my shortcut. So Tina, you said they're there, but you didn't set them up, but you're going to. Yes. So as I said, most times they're there. Google Chrome will choose some to add, but you have the freedom to customize the ones you want to be there. So that's something that I love to do. And I change them out from time to time because as we said, there are sometimes websites that you're not going to be using as often, so you can just change them out. So Jennifer, you say, yes, I've got a few out of the blue from Google. You deleted them, but we'll try again. Okay, good. So just think about what websites you use often and just add those as your shortcuts. It's going to save you so much time. And if you're a Fiverr user like myself, Fiverr has to be on your shortcut. And GoToWebinar is here because we do live sessions with that. Zoom is here as well for me because I do live sessions with that. So these are main shortcuts for me. Definitely WhatsApp. I think we're all WhatsApping. And I'm sure you all know that you can have WhatsApp on your computer and not just on your phone. You have WhatsApp for desktop and you have WhatsApp web. All right. So these are just some common ones that I tend to use. So let's look at some others. So this is one I use all the time. Now, as I said, you can change the color and stuff. That's just simple. That's if you want to. But definitely creation of the shortcut is the main focus of what we talked about there. Now, if you're going to have certain shortcut setup, you can also create it where when you start up a new browser experience or a new browser window or whatever, it will reopen with particular websites that you have set it up with. Now, before I show you that, let me show you this other part because I don't want to close the browser area as yet. So I'm going to show you that soon. Now, you notice that I have a whole heap of tabs open here. For those who saw me do the session on, Chrome extensions and such, which we'll talk about soon, you'll know that we talked about how you can get rid of the tabs, but I have these tabs here for a reason. Now, Chrome allows you so much functionality with your tabs where organization is concerned. Have you ever tried to organize your tabs? Any tab organizers here? Have you organized them, meaning you can group them? Did you know that? You can pin them. Of course, we know that you can close them. And we're going to look at some other features. So the first one I want to look at is how you can group your tabs. Why would you want to group your tabs? You may have so many tabs open of similar websites that you want to put them together in one area and have it more organized. What does grouping also allow you to do? Grouping also allows you to do what? So instead of just having all the tabs exposed, you can have them in a neat area. So it gives you more space on your tab area to add other tabs. So if you're like me and maybe have 50 million tabs open, exploring the group tabs option is definitely something that you need to do so that you're more organized. Now, here I have 2 GoToWebinar tabs open and I have 2 Zoom tabs open. So suppose I want to group these, you know that these are meeting apps. So suppose I want to group these tabs and call it meeting. What can I do? Simple, simple, simple. I will just right click here on the tab that I want to. Let me start with the tab. I'm going to right click on one of the tabs that I want to add to a group. So I'm just going to choose anyone. It can be the Zoom or it can be the GoToWebinar. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to say, where am I? Add to new group. All right. So when I click this, I'm going to call the group meeting app. I can choose a color of the tab. So if I want the tab to have a different color so I can find it easily, I can change the color. So it says new tab in group, ungroup, close group. So let's choose that now. New tab in group. So what happens now? This is the tab right here. All right. And it has nothing in there as yet. But if I want something in there, which is this Zoom one, I can right click on it and I can say I want to move it. Let me move this out the way so I can see what I'm doing. I can drag it into the group. So I can hold down the left mouse button and drag it into the particular, well, no, sorry, it's already in there. I'm sorry, it's in there. I'm not seeing right, guys. How did I know it's in there? Who can let me know? How do I know that it's in there already? What was the dead giveaway? What was the clue right here that it's actually in there? Who sees what's going on? Yes, it has the color of the tab on it already. That's how I definitely knew it was in there, the yellow line, yes. But if you haven't changed the name of it, you will know that it's in there based on me clicking on it and then it didn't show again. All right, so I'm just going to drag this one in there. So I'm going to drag it, drag, and drop it in the group. So we have these 2 tabs in the group. I'm going to go for the GoToWebinar one and grab it, drop it in there, and drop the other one in there. So right now, this group has, let's just move this out the way, close this. This particular group now has how many tabs in there? It has all these tabs. And notice that when I click on meeting, what happens is that it will expand, show me all of the ones. Look at the line. You see this line? Let me change the color so that you can see that even if it remains the same color, let's do another. I don't even know what color it has by default, but you notice it picks up the color that it is and show you. So you see the line here, you know that all of these are in this particular group. All right, so you say you're doing it now, MJ. Okay, so it says space because now in meeting tabs, plus nobody even knows what I have in there, but when I click it, you will know that I have these in there. All right, so that's just another way to have things organized. Now remember, we saw that we had ungroup. So if you didn't want them to be in the tab anymore, you right click on the group itself, and then you would ungroup, and it takes everything out and disables the group. Meeting group doesn't exist anymore. All right, so it's as simple as that. Now, I'm going to ask you, who has been using the tab feature, that particular feature? Have you been using it, grouping it, having things more organized, changing the color of the tab? Have you been changing the color of the tab so you can know which tabs have different things? If you have not, you need to be doing so now. So is there a limit to the number of tabs you can have in the group? That I'm not sure of, but guess what? You'd find out. You'll find out if you put too many in there. All right, so Deborah, you say you'll start using it. No, you haven't, Bianca. Changing the color will be helpful. Yes, Tanya. And Tina, yes, you'll be doing it today. You love that one. This is new to me. Great lesson. Thanks. You're welcome, John. And Linda didn't know, but now you do. You're welcome, MJ. All right, so that's just one aspect of the tab, being able to group them, and we can change the color. Now, remember, we talked about some other features that you can do with the tab. Just like how we had shortcuts on our tab, our new tab, we can also have pinning a tab. What pinning a tab does is that the tab is always there when we open our browser. So if you open a website and you always want to see that tab there with that website information, it will be there when you reopen your browser. Now, which website are we currently using right now that you would definitely want to make sure that you pin this tab? Let me see. Which AI website you definitely want to pin that tab for? ChatGPT, definitely. And Deborah says Facebook. Yes, you can pin that as well if it's something you use often. But notice I have it as a shortcut. But it doesn't matter if you pin it or shortcut it or make it be a default tab that opens. There's so many different options to allow you to save time. So you would choose which one you want. So I have ChatGPT here. So all I will do, I'll right click and I have pin. So when I click on it, pin, it pins the tab right here in the corner. Notice it doesn't show me the name of the tab like how these tabs have some words on it. It pins it right here. So when I close this browser window and open it again, ChatGPT will be pinned right there, ready and waiting for me to use it. So when the tab is pinned, does it open in every window when it's opened? It opens in every browser window. Yes. Yes. All right. And we can test that theory when I do close this, because we're going to close it so you can see some things. All right. So we can pin a tab. So we can group the tab, change the color. We can ungroup them and we can pin them. Now you may have noticed me hovering over some of the tabs because some of them I may not know what the tab is. For those who have 1,000,001 tabs open, when the tab gets really, really small, that little tab icon gets really, really small and you don't know what's on the page. So you have to click on the page to see. So I'd have to click on this to see that this says sign in. I'd have to click on different things, right? Click on that to see that it has that, click on that. But what you can do is actually hover. You can hover on the tab icon. Notice it's showing me a preview, like a thumbnail of what's on the page. So I don't have to click on the actual page. before I open it to see what's there. All right, so Tina, you're like me, too many tabs open. So you just hover. So a lot of people may not know that you can hover. And hover just means put your cursor, your pointer on the tab, and it will show you a preview. So hovering definitely helps. Hovering helps. Hovering saves time than you clicking on each one. So you can just quickly, obviously I'm moving slowly so that you can get an idea of what the hover looks like, but you can hover real fast and see what's on all your different tabs without having to click on each one. So definitely something you need to explore if you have not been doing that. So far we looked on the grouping, the coloring, the hovering, the pinning, the ungrouping. So many different ones so far, but this is the one I love. So remember, always think about having a lot of tabs open. That's when these features allow you to be more efficient. Now, if you have a whole lot of tabs open and you remember the name of the website tab, for instance, when we see that you have Facebook is called Facebook, right? Facebook is called Facebook and such. And if you know the name of the tab, what this feature allows you to do is just search through the different tabs and go straight to the tab. So if you wanted to go to your inbox tab, suppose you had an inbox open and you wanted to head straight there, you just search accordingly. All right. So let me show you what this looks like. So I'm just looking to see. All right, let me see if it works by me typing in the name of the app, even if that's not what the tab is called. Now, have you ever seen this little button right here? It's like the upside down, like an arrow head with no tail. All right, so when you click on this, it shows you that you can search in the tabs. You can search in the tabs themselves right here. Search in the tab. So if I know that I have Zoom open and I can't see where my Zoom tab ended up, I can type in Zoom, press enter. It takes me straight to my Zoom tab. Didn't have to try to find it. It took me straight there. So I'm searching within the tabs. So if I wanted YouTube, know where my YouTube tab was. It took me straight there. Now, obviously, you're not going to see how fabulous this is because I don't have 1,000,001 tabs open. But picture that you have 50 tabs open, these little specks, these little dots, and you don't remember where you had the YouTube tab and you want to get to it. You don't have to waste time hovering over each one in that aspect. You can just use this little icon right here and you can search the tabs. Who is using that? Like what? Who is using that particular feature? It saves you so much time if you're one of those people who has a lot of tabs open. And we have a lot of persons who are like that. The reason you have a lot of tabs open is that you are actually maybe going through a lot of different information and you want to remember to go back and look on it so you don't close it and it ends up being more and more and more and more and so many different tabs open that it just becomes overwhelming. So you are able to search within your tabs and find the tab that you want. So you don't have to remember the exact name of the tab. For instance, if the tab is called My Documents or whatever, if you remember Documents, it will go there. All right. So you don't have to remember the full name of the particular tab. So that feature is going to save you a lot of time. So you say you have 1,000 tabs open. Oh my gosh. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right. So yes, Tina, definitely will save you a lot of time. You're welcome. So definitely think about these strategies as ways to save time. And we know the popular saying, who knows it? Time is, finish it for me. So that's definitely what you want to think about. Time is, yes, money. Time is money. So anything that can save you time that you can use to be making the money that you want. So always remember that. All right. So let me make sure that I've looked at all I want to look at with tabs. Now, another one that I love with tabs is it's happened to all of us. You've closed that tab by accident. So that is YouTube. I close YouTube. I close Canva. Oh my gosh, what was that tab about? I need it, but oh my God, I can't find it. What am I gonna do? I've shown this in previous sessions. You just right click and you can reopen a closed tab. And remember, I closed another one. So if I right click again, it's going to reopen that other tab. So that 2 tabs I closed, it reopens them in the order of which I closed it. Like, what? So sometimes by accident, your hand shifts, you close that tab and you say, what was it? And oh my gosh, how am I going to get it back? And I had all this information and I don't know how to find it. I don't remember the URL. How am I going to find it? Use your reopen tab icon, or I should say your option. That's a lifesaver because I've closed some tabs accidentally, meaning to close something else, and I lost the information, meaning I couldn't find it back, and like I wanted to cry. So when I learned that particular feature, that's something that I just, oh, I closed that tab, so what? I can get it back anytime I want. Oh, well, So that will save you too. So hopefully that's a feature that you're going to remember to use, because remember, it may not be something that you're using now. So you want to make sure that you add it into your arsenal of tricks and tips. That's what you're looking on, your arsenal. Add these things in there to save you. Remember what we're doing? Saving us time. So instead of you having a heart failure and all these things, just remember you can open back the tab quite easily. Now this one, last bit on the tab, if we want to move around tabs, you remember you saw me moving one by one. So let's say I want the Canva tab, hold, drag it. I want it to be right here beside the Zoom. And then I want this tab to be here and all sorts of stuff. I'm moving them one by one. I can actually move a clump of tabs together. So I hold down the CTRL control button on the keyboard if you're using a Windows computer and you know that it's command on a Mac. Hold down that button, and then let's say I want to move this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm just doing them all over the place. And then I can drag them. Notice they're moving as a group. Look at them. Wee, wee, see? They're moving together. So I didn't have to move them one by one. All right? I can move them as a group. Okay, so please show how to open a tab that was accidentally closed. All right. So if I accidentally close this Zoom tab, I just right click here in the empty space at the top left. Well, that's the top right. Right click in an empty space, meaning not on an icon and not on a tab. And then go to reopen close tab. And the tab that was closed will be open. Tina, calm down, Tina. Make sure that you're seated. I don't want you to fall over with excitement. Okay, so that's definitely the reopen tab. Yep, that's what we want. And of course, moving the tabs. You save time and you're looking through and say, oh, move them one by one, one by one. Who has time for that? Nobody. So that's one feature that you need to be using. So that's all I'm going to look at where tabs are concerned. There are other things, but those are the main things I think that will save you a lot of time. So focus on those right there. Now, for those who have different people using their computer and you may not want persons to be seeing what you're doing, and bear in mind, this is for you allowing someone to use your computer who is not that tech savvy, who may not know about this feature, because if they do, then they may kind of get in your stuff. But if they don't, setting up different profiles is a feature that will help you to keep your stuff secure, as in you allow someone to use your computer, but it's not in your main profile. So very simple. Now, usually when you sign into Google Chrome, at the top right, you have your profile. So when you click on it, I have a picture on mine. So yours may have an icon or the letter of your email or so on. So when you click on it, you have these options here. So let me just move stuff out the way. So you can add a guest, but I'm actually adding a profile. This webinar, this session is all about Google Chrome browser features you need to be using so that you can save time and be more efficient. So I can add a user. I can add a profile, I should say. So right now I have my main profile, but I can add one. So let me say I'm calling this person. Let's see. I want to add it. I don't want to sign in. I want to do it without an account. Sign in is more complicated than we need to show this session, but do it without an account. All right. So I'm just closing this. Google is telling me something. So here, all I would do is type the name of the person. So let's say it's John. John, I'm allowing you to use my computer. So I add your name. I can assign a color for you. So John, your color is blue. And I click done. So what happens is that, John, here's my computer. You can use it. You can, go into whatever you want. My search is not there. I haven't searched for any of this. None of my tab, you notice none of my shortcuts are here and all that. And John can do whatever he wants there. It has none of my passwords, nothing like that. He can do whatever he wants quite easily. And then when John is done, I say, okay, bye, John. Hope you had fun using my computer and you didn't get in any of my stuff, right? And then I can click back the same part and I can switch and go back to me. Easy, easy. So John didn't get into any of my information. I can easily share my computer with someone, let them have that particular profile for themselves, and then have my area. So they can have their area where they have all their stuff, and you can have your area where you have all your stuff. So John would have to do it on your actual computer, or can he access your computer from his? No, he wouldn't be able to access my computer. What he would be able to do is, if he had created a profile, like, he can sign into his profile on his computer, but it wouldn't be my computer. So basically his profile is mobile. His profile will be mobile if he created an account. A while ago, I did not create an account, so that particular profile would not be mobile. It would be specific on my computer. But if you have created an account, just like how we all have our Google accounts, you can sign into someone else's web browser with your Google information, and you have access to your stuff. All right, if you had saved certain things. All right. All right, you're welcome. All right, so what if they know how to click back? That's what I was saying. You're gonna do this. This one will only really work well if it's someone that's not that tech savvy and know that. Because not a lot of people know that this option allows you to have different profiles. A lot of people don't know that. So if they do, then if for security wise, it wouldn't be the most secure thing to have. But a lot of people don't know of it, so it's safe if they don't know. All right, good question. I had said that in the beginning. So that's a profile option that allows you to share and don't have to be closing all your stuff. They can use that and you can have your area that you can have and use privately. Okay, so remember I told you that you can actually have it where your browser opens and has the websites that you frequently use. So you're going to open your browser and you are going to have the websites that you frequently use up. Right? That's the whole point. You're going to open your browser and have the websites that you frequently use. So let me show you how we do that. So let me just fix things up right here. So I'm going to close my web browser, close it. So it's closing all those tabs. So I'm going to open it. I have it down here, pinned to my taskbar. That's another shortcut. That's something else. Notice that my web browser opens. Okay, John. My web browser opens with yahoo.com, facebook.com, youtube.com, and my Fiverr account. Those are the websites that I use very frequently. I need to add Canva because and I don't need to add ChatGPT. Why? Remember before John leaves, John had asked this question. The pinned tab opens when you reopen your browser each time. The pinned tab always opens. So it's all about your preference. You could pin these as tabs, or you want them to open as regular websites that open when you open your browser. You have options. You have options. So let me tell you, if you want websites to pre-open tabs, you would have to set it up. And most of these things that I'm going to show you now are in the settings area. All right. So you would go to settings by clicking on these three dots on the top right, the vertical dots. Anytime you see vertical dots or horizontal three dots, they're usually options. So in this case, it's going to allow me to see the options for my browser. So I'm going to go into settings and I'm going to go into startup. And here in startup, I'm going to tell Google, hey, Google, these are the specific pages I want to start up when I open my browser. So you see, I have the ones I told you. So if you want to add another page, you just go to add new page and you just put the URL. So if I wanted Zoom to be in there, let me just go to Zoom and get that Zoom browser. Let me just copy this and come here. As I said, you want the URL to have the HTTP on it so that it works. Not all features allow you to not have the HTTP on it. It's not looked at as a complete web address, so it will not work. And I add it. So notice that Zoom was not here when I opened. So I'm going to close it again so you can see what I'm talking about. So when I open my browser, I'm telling it, these are what I want to have here right away. No delay. I want Facebook. I want YouTube. I want Yahoo. I want my Fiverr. I want my Zoom. See Zoom come up now? And of course, anyone that you don't want to have, you would just remove it from that section. So as I said, we're looking on saving time, saving time. You may think, but these things don't really save time. They do, they add up. You would be surprised how many seconds and minutes you're raking up when you're doing this. So definitely explore these features for you to save time when you're doing these stuff, all right? So that's that one. Now, you heard me earlier talk about functionality of your web browser. Now, this is not unique to Google Chrome, but in Google Chrome, to add more functionality, you add what we call extensions. In Microsoft Edge, they call it, what do they call it in Microsoft Edge again? I think it's plugins. Is it plugins? I don't remember. I know that Mozilla Firefox, they call them add-ons, all right? But in Google Chrome browser, they call them extensions. And these are just little programs that you add to your browser to give you more functionality. Now, to get these extensions, you can search the Chrome Web Store and look for the ones you want. So I'm going to just show you how you find the Chrome Web Store. Just simply type in Chrome Web Store. It's usually at the top, Chrome Web Store, or the actual website is chrome.google.com. And you can search for what you want in the web store, or you can look based on the different categories here. So if you want a productivity extension, you can look on it, look at the rating, you can have a definition, even have a Chrome Zoom extension. So you can read the overview and see what it's all about, what it allows you to do, all these good stuff, and see if it's something that you want. Now, as you see here, you're able to add the extension, which means you're saving it to your computer. So it will say add if it's not already on it. If it's already on it, it will say remove. So it's asking you, telling you what it does, and says, okay, are you sure you want to add it? Yes, so I'll add it. And the extension is added, and it usually just pops up here with any of your existing extensions. Now, to see all the extensions that you have, the same three dots that I told you about, you just click on it. You go to, where am I? Extensions, and you're able to see all your extensions. So you have a manage extension, so you can see all of them and turn them on and off with the button accordingly. All right. So I actually did an extensions class, Chrome extension, so you can look on the replay page to see how that particular part works. All right. Yes, the replay will be posted in the Facebook group as well as sent via email. So that's how you add some more functionality, adding extensions to your browser. All right, so I'm going to do a tally. When it comes to passwords, who has trouble remembering their passwords? Give me a 3. Who has trouble remembering their passwords? Where are my persons who tend not to remember their passwords? Wow, I see a lot. I see some people have a lot of 3s, like double 3s. Oh my gosh. Yes, me, 2.5. That means you remember it sometimes. What is it? All right. So we have a lot of people not remembering their password, right? So this particular feature, you should know it, but there is an option that you may not have known existed. I'm going to share the Facebook group in the chat for those who are not a part of the Learning Tube, so that they can join the Facebook group. All right, so you must know by now, if you're a Google Chrome user and most web browsers, there's an option that allows you to save your password. Yes, it asks, do you want to remember your password? Now, only do this on computers that it's your personal computer. Do not do this on a public computer or a friend's computer. Do it on yours. I want to say computer, I mean laptop, desktop. Use it on yours. People assume that computer is a desktop, a computer is either. All right, so use it only on yours. So we know that, right? That we can remember our password. Yes, we all knew this, that we can remember our password. So if we typed in our email, we can remember the password. Our Facebook, remember the password. And guess what? Sometimes there are some websites that we've been using for years. And because we always made Google remember the password, do you remember the password that you created? Yes or no? So for those sites you've been using for years, because Google automatically puts it in, do you remember the password? So Mara says, I think maybe not. So listen to what Google allows you to do. And remember, this is for your personal computer, not a public computer. So for all of those websites that you've been telling, hey, remember, always remember. Here's what you can do. There is a password management system that you find in the same settings area, 3 dots, and you go to settings. And here we have autofill and passwords. And what this area allows us to do is that we can go into our password manager. And in password manager, you have several options. You can actually click, this is showing you all the websites that you have passwords saved for. You realize that I don't remember any passwords. I say, hey, Google, remember my password, okay? All right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't remember any passwords. But what happens is that you have been doing this for so long, you have no idea what the password is. So there are so many different options for you. So you can actually click on but I'm going to have to put in my PIN. This is not related to this. This is my computer itself. So you would put in you click on the website and it shows you what username you have. And here it shows you the password. And when you click the I, it will show you the actual password. So if you have websites that you're not sure what the password is, you can do that and click and say, oh, that's the password. Okay. And this is helpful if you need to go on the same website on another computer, because remember that other computer and that web browser was not remembering your password. So you don't know your password, right? So you say, Mara, that's the only way I make it through that password manager. Exactly. So you can do it that way. But guess what? Who has time to be going through each of these? Like, I'm going to go and say, okay, what was my password for this? All right, what's that? Nobody has time for that. So you have another option. So I'm going to go to checkup. All right. What checkup allows me to do now is it will tell me which passwords it advises me to change because of whatever reason. Maybe something changed on the website, or maybe thought that something was compromised and such. It gives me, I'm not going to click on it because I don't want you to see my stuff. But when you click on it, you'll know what's what. So it's advising you which ones you need to change, which ones you should create unique ones for. If you're like me and use the same password for everything, do not do that. It tells you that, and then it tells you, hey, this password is weak. You need to have a stronger password. And for those who don't know what stronger passwords are, these are passwords that usually have a capital letter, a number, or a special character like the exclamation sign, the @ sign, and things like those. All right. So it does this. So it helps you if you wanted to go through and make sure that your passwords are secure. But this is where I want to show you the settings. Watch this. Look at this now. Now, here, if you have this button off, it's not going to ask you, hey, you want to save your password? It's not going to ask you anything. So if you are one like me that wants to be asked, do you want to save your password? Make sure you go into your settings area and tell Google, hey, ask me. Yes, save my password. You want to turn on sign in automatically. Remember, this is only for your personal computer, not your friends or your whoever. This is for your personal one, all right? So you wanted to do that. Oh, Claudia, I'm seeing what you're saying. So that is why I can't give my laptop to any and every person to repair if required. That's if they know about this feature. Don't assume everybody knows. Not everybody knows. And you can change your password if you are hesitant. Most of the websites that we allow to remember our passwords is really not that serious. But if you know that of course, for banking information, never, ever, ever, ever let the computer remember your password. That's a given. So the online banking, do not let the computer remember your password. But anyway, this is the part I love now. Watch. You can actually download all of your passwords. Now, obviously, you need to keep this document secure. I would advise you not even to keep a copy on your computer. Maybe look through it to just check something quickly, and then you can delete it. We know for security reasons, you don't necessarily want to have all your passwords just here. Say, hey, see my password here? Or if you know about passwords on documents and such, that's an option for you, okay? But that's a cool feature. You are able to click it, download it, and it downloads. This is linked to my computer, not so don't worry. This is not going to come up for you. My computer just making sure it's me, and it's asking me about a pin. All right, so let me do this to my desktop, and it's called Chrome Passwords. That's what it chose to name it, or you can name it whatever you want. So it's a CSV file that can be opened in Microsoft Excel. It can be uploaded to Google Drive and opened through through Google Sheets, and it will have your username, your password. It will have the website URL. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show you mine, but you can go in and test it out for yourself. Now, is that something that's helpful to you? My password, persons that can't remember their password. Is that helpful to you? Yes, you can download an Excel file, or I should say spreadsheet. Yes, but remember, warning, warning. Don't say I didn't warn you. You do not want to have a file stored on your computer with all your passwords. So just look through it, do what you need to, and then delete it, okay? I just want to warn you. Warning. So I don't hear, oh, I downloaded my file and all my passwords, like Apple said, and then somebody went into my computer and got all my passwords and went into my everything. No, I'm doing my disclaimer. You can print it out and put it in a safe. Yes, you can do that if you choose to. But just always know that from it's not in your head, and they haven't really developed the technology yet to read your brain yet, it's not safe. Okay? It's not safe. All right, so that one I find very useful. Password manager. That's a setting, and we saw, all the different things there. So the last feature that I'm going to use, this one now is for on the go. On the go. Now, we all know QR codes, right? Everybody knows a QR code. Yes? Is that little code with that squares and mixed up and all those things that people used to read during COVID time? A lot of restaurants were using QR codes. A lot of people were using QR codes because nobody wanted to be using paper. So the QR code could take you to a website or take you to a document or something that had information without you having to touch anybody else's thing. We all know this, right? So here's what. There is an app for that. Anyway, it's a feature. So I'm going to go here on yahoo.com. And the feature that Google Chrome browser has is that I can right click on this page anywhere once I'm not right clicking on any word and such. And I can create a QR code for this particular page. A QR code for this particular page. So what happens? Whoops, let me do that again. All right. So it shows me that this is my QR code for this page. It shows me the URL. Yes, that URL is correct. And I can download it. So what happens now, when I download this QR code, I can add this to any flyer, or just have it saved, anything that I want. And persons can scan it, and where will it take them to? So let me actually add this to a doc so you can test it for yourself. So if you do not have you just need to have a QR code scanner. You can get one from the App Store, very free, quite free, so that you can test it. So I'm going to open a Google Doc, and I'm going to add that QR code that I just did to it. All right, so here's my QR code. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. All right, so I'm just going to call this Yahoo. This is the way you're going to use it, but I'm going to test it with you now so that you can test it to see if it takes you to the page. I'm going to share this doc with you, sharing the link with you. Remember, we looked at this in another class that we can actually be on the same doc. Okay, I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to share it down here with you. Oh, you scanned it on for those who No, you could have scanned it on the page. I didn't have to share the doc with you. You could have scanned it on the screen. So right now, if you have your QR code, you can scan this right now to see if it takes you to Yahoo, or you can just go to the doc right now and check it out. So who did it work for? Okay, yes, it worked. All right, Bianca, so you can catch a replay. How cool is that? So you could have your website that you create a QR code for and simply just share that. Have it in a flyer. So the flyer is telling people about an upcoming webinar, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you want to share your Facebook business page or your Instagram. You see what I'm saying? And it will just take them straight to that section right there. And it was as simple as that. We didn't have to do anything complicated. Oh my gosh. We just right click, QR code, download. That's it. Include it in any design that you want. Just put it up on a screen and say, hey guys, go to my website. They don't have to be typing in anything. They just hold up their phone, blip. And then, for those who know how to use a QR code scanner, it shows you the URL, and then all you have to do is what? Open it. That's all you have to do is open it. So it's very simple. So if you're having like in-person sessions, let's say you're doing an in-person speaker engagement and you want to have people just en masse be able to go to your page without them having to type anything, you could put up your QR code and they're able to scan it and get on, if they're able to zoom enough, of course. It depends. You'll figure it out. You can do that. Where did you get your first? Okay, so to get the QR code, I simply just go on whatever page it is, whatever page, right click, QR code for this page, it shows me, and then I can download it. That's it. I just download the image on my computer and put it wherever I want to. All right, so I mean, guys, there's so many things that we can do on the internet with the different tools that we have. These that may just have not been options that you have explored. We have all used Google Chrome, but of the features that you learned today, how many of them were you actively using? How many of them were you even using? How many of them did you even know of? So that's why we try to do some of these sessions for you to make sure that you're utilizing your existing tools as efficiently as possible, so that you're able to save time. And as we say, we're all about saving time because we want to save money so we can make more money. So don't be using up your time unnecessarily. All right, so Tanya, a quick refresher, picked up some new tricks. You're welcome. Used only 2, great class. Thank you. You're welcome, Jack. So you can give me some feedback on the session so that we can know if these types of sessions are useful to you. But just make sure that you are going through your various toolkit and utilizing each tool as effectively as possible, because you have some features that you're not using that can save you so much time. So make sure to do the exploration on your own and share tips with us that you have found as well in the Learning Tube group. Let's let that group be active. Share things that you're doing. We're building our community and talking to each other and sharing. I learn from you, you learn from me. All right. So you're welcome, Martha. Okay, Deborah. Yes, the session is recorded and will be posted in the Facebook group, and it's going to be sent out via email as well. All right. It was all new to you. Okay. So it's not new anymore, right? And I'm sure some features will be utilized more than others, but it's always good to know. Always good to be in the know. All right. So thank you guys for joining me live on this session. You can catch a replay in the Facebook group, and you can also catch it when we send it out via email. Let me let you know, for those who do not know, we are having another summit next week, Friday, July 14th, all about writing a book in a day with ChatGPT. So if you're not registered, let me share that link for you. It is AI Book Summit. Yes, AI Book Summit. Let me just copy this properly. As I said, if I don't share it with the HTTP, it may not transfer well. AI Book Summit, all about writing a book in a day with ChatGPT. If you can't make it, we have recordings available once you upgrade to VIP. AI, guys, is the way of the future. I know you're sick of hearing that, but it really is. It really is. So we have to make sure that we keep you abreast of all that's going on, anything new, and writing a book We give you the reasons why it's good to have a book. We are going in depth for each session, all about the whole writing a book process from start to finish. For session 1, we're going to get started with the book writing. Then session 2, preparing for your book journey. Session 3, tools and techniques for efficient writing. And this is for beginners, authors, nothing, you don't know anything, anybody, any and everybody. You can tell your friends about it as well. Just give them the URL, aibooksummit.com. It's not just for our LearningTube community, it's for everyone. So do not sleep on this. Share it with your friends and family if they're interested in learning to write a book in a day with ChatGPT. And if they're not, they should be. For extra income. Passive income is always a good way to go. Crafting your book content, polishing and preparing for publication. So make sure that you're registered and share with a friend as well. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much and take care and have a great rest of the day and weekend. Bye, guys.